And we're back. In the last episode, we defeated level 3 and level 4. And it gave us both of the watercraft items. So now we're going to go to the East Coast, where we're going to pick up a couple additional power-ups. And then we're going to head over to level 2. So we're just going to make our way back over. There is one more secret cave that I want to get before I go all the way to the East Coast, and that's so I can get more rupees to buy an upgrade, not in level 2, but in level 5. Alright. Just waiting here. So, this game is actually wildly different from the game that it was going to be when it was being tossed around in concept. It was supposed to be a dungeon maker game where you make your own dungeons, and then the staff reported that it was more fun to play the dungeons than it was to make them. Now that we live in the Mario Maker era, there is no reason why we could not have a Legend of Zelda Dungeon Maker. Oh, I'm talking and went the wrong way, so we're just going back up here. Go down 1. We're going to burn this bush. This reveals level 8, but we're not going to go there right now. We'll come back to it. Alright, so, yes, I might even do a mock-up of how that would work. Right now, we're going to spend 80 rupees and buy the arrows. So, we have just bought everything that we really need from the shops. The only thing that we need to buy now are a couple of bomb upgrades, and then we need a little buffer so we can have some arrows, because we'll need about a dozen or so arrows for the rest of the run. Alright, then we have another heart container. So after picking up 2 heart containers, I think we are in very good shape to do level 2, considering that, you know, if you found nothing, you'd either have 3 hearts or 4 hearts going into level 2 if you're doing this in order. Alright, so we're going to make our way back over. We're going to make a quick detour by level 8. We're going to go in there, and level 8 actually has 2 items. One item is very early in this stage, so we're going to go in and we're going to retrieve it. Alright. So we got this manhandler. We're going to go over, and yeah, there we go. Just like that. That's how you do it. Not like I did before, where it was annoying and I took a lot of damage. Alright, so we have to clear this this room out, and then we will have our item. But, yeah, I might do a mock-up of how I believe the Legend of Zelda Dungeon Maker should, what it should look like. I think that just like in Mario Maker, you should be able to switch between the different links. You should have 8-bit Link, the 16-bit Link, and then the Toon Link that was used in like Minish Cap and or even the new like 3D-esque Link that's in the new Link's Awakening remake. I actually believe that at one point they were talking about a dungeon maker, and that's something that they came up with, because I mean that style is just radically different than what I would expect it to be. I'm very mixed on that. With Wind Waker, when it came out, I was very excited for it. Alright, so we're going to leave here. Now we're going to go up to level 2. Alright, but I was very excited for it. I was not one of the ones that was hating on the cell shading. I thought it was crisp, I thought it was clean, and I am a person that prefers stylized games over realistic games, because they do have a lot longer shelf life. Alright, so this is Dungeon 2, the Crescent Moon. It is pretty much, you know, a straight up and down dungeon. So there's not much to do here. There is a couple secrets in this place, but we're just going to just make a mad dash to it. But when I seen the Link's Awakening remake, you know, myself and my brother are huge fans of The Legend of Zelda. I was like, man, yeah, I'll get it, but you know, I'm not like losing any sleep over it. I don't know. It just, I just looked at it and I was like, you're taking a game that I've loved, and it's not that they've disrespected the game or they're trying to make a cheap cash grab for it. It doesn't feel like that, because I mean, Nintendo just typically doesn't do that. It's just, I don't know, it just feels like, alright, and I guess I've alright, first we have this mini boss here. This is the Moldorm, and we've picked up the magical boomerang. Alright, so we're getting close to the end now, so we're going to defeat these rope. But I just feel that, I don't know, that Nintendo's quest to not recycle content and always have something look different and whatnot, I think that it hurts them at times. And it's because I think that the people that they put in charge of these projects, I mean, because, you know, hey, we've done Zelda before, so yada yada yada. And here's the boss of the first, or the second dungeon, the Dongo. So we just drop 2 bombs and then a quick stab, and that's it. And that is all for level 2. So after this, we're going to make our way over to level 5. Alright, so we're in level 5 now. This is the first, in my opinion, dungeon where it amps up the challenges a bit. It's not like players have died too often in here, but you know, I can see this being the first death for a lot of players. But we've encountered a new enemy, the Gibdo. They hit pretty hard. Most of the Legend of Zelda iterations, they are an annoyingly slow enemy that hits hard and is weak to fire. So they appear in several Zelda games, but yeah. But alright, so this room's full of blue dart nuts. Yes, they're stronger than the red ones. So we have to clear this out. Then we'll go down the staircase. But yeah, I was thinking about Legend of Zelda 2. I'll probably do the Legend of Zelda 2 you know, very shortly after completing this run. I think it's a very underrated game. Like I said, the walls that you blast holes in, they'll pull you to them quicker than like just going through a door. So yeah, don't fight next to a wall that you have bombed. But anyway, I think it's a very underrated game. I know that Shigeru Miyamoto doesn't have much to say about it. It is still a canon game, but yeah, I just think that it just didn't have the development time that it needed to work out some of the bugs and some of the mechanics. For instance, I think the spell mechanic is absolutely flawed. Absolutely flawed. It is the MP costs for the spells are way too high, considering that if you go into a dungeon and you have max MP, you cannot even cast every one of the spells once. You can cast just a couple spells, so you really have to look at what you're doing and plan out ahead, which is hard to do when you're going through a game the first time. And especially it has continued, that has, alright, this is our first bomb upgrade, so paying 100 rupees gives us 4 more bombs. This is one of 2 upgrades. We have the second one coming up soon, so we'll need another 100 rupees. Other than that, the only thing that we need is additional rupees so we can fire arrows. But the biggest problems is that you don't get leniencies on a continue. So if you get a game over, you start at the very beginning of the game all the way into the end palace. That should have not happened. If you are at a castle or dungeon, but they're castles, they're all castles or temples, and you get a game over, you should be able to start at the temple. That should have been at a bare minimal one of the things that was changed. Someone, somewhere down the line, had to have said something about it or whatnot. That's if they had any playtesters. Someone, somewhere down the line. The other thing is Death Mountain. Death Mountain is harder than it actually should be. Again, playtesters somewhere, someone should have told these guys that, hey, this is the second area that we're going to, and these enemies are way harder than they need to be. So, yeah. Because that's really the thing that I think that gets people, is that, you know, you're going to struggle all the way to the first dungeon. You may even die in the first dungeon because you don't have any of your advanced sword techniques. So you have enemies that it is beneficial if you can use a downward thrust, but you instead have to do a jumping slash, and it's something that you definitely have to practice at. Even now, if I was to play the game, I am going to take hits simply because I am not perfect with you know, jump slashes. So, but yeah, I still think that it's a pretty decent game. I like the concept. It does introduce the Triforce of Courage, giving the Holy Trinity of Zelda, Link, and Ganondorf a piece of Triforce, and establishes the lore. Yeah, but yeah, I know that, like I said, Shigeru Miyamoto really didn't have much praise to do for it, but he doesn't have much praise to give to a lot of the games that he helped create, like Donkey Kong, for instance. He bashed Donkey Kong Country, even though that, honestly, the games that Nintendo made, like the Mario mini games, the Mario and Donkey Kong mini games where they're like wind-up toys and everything, those are nowhere near as good as the Donkey Kong Country series, and even the remakes. When I was playing the remakes, I enjoyed not the remakes, Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze. I enjoyed those games, but not as much as I enjoyed Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. 3 had its flaws, but number 1 was solid. Number 2 took everything number 1 had and made it better. I just wish. Alright, so here's the boss to level 5, Dig Dogger. So we will plant a bomb, then play the recorder. It allows the bomb to go ahead and count down. And so when he actually goes into his smaller form, yeah, he takes damage. So that's it for this episode, and we'll see you next time.